These cold cases were solved, but something still feels off. Some cold cases end with answers. Others? They leave you staring at the answer, but still feeling cold. These next stories were solved. The DNA matched. The killer confessed. The court signed off. But if you listen closely, you'll hear something still scratching beneath the truth. Let's begin. Case 1. The Whisper on 3rd Street. Name: Melanie Reyes. Age: 19. Location: Tucson, Arizona. Cold since 1996. Solved 2018. She was found face down in an alley. No shoes, no phone, no purse, just a silver necklace, broken. Police ruled it a mugging gone wrong. Except she was walking home from choir practice. No money, nobody evidence, nothing to steal. The case went cold for 22 years. Then, a partial fingerprint under her fingernail. It matched Benny LaRue, a local mechanic with priors. He confessed within hours. Said he just snapped. Said she reminded him of someone. Case closed. But Melanie's mother never believed it. She said Melanie knew Benny. She fixed his car 2 weeks earlier. She said Melanie told her, "He gives me the creeps." And that Benny used to stand outside their church, just watching. That's not random. That's stalking. But here's the weirdest part. The alley where she died? There's no alley on 3rd Street anymore. It was bricked up in 1997. So how did Benny describe it exactly? Brick pattern, dumpster, fire escape? Police never released those details. Unless he was there, or someone told him. Case 2. The Perfect Confession. Name: Wallace Green. Age: 62. Location: Boise, Idaho. Cold since 2002. Solved 2020. Wallace was a retired music teacher. Beloved, private, predictable. One night, he vanished from his porch, mug of tea still steaming. They found his body 6 weeks later, inside his storage unit, bound and strangled. Zero leads. Until 2020. A man named Craig Heller walked into a precinct 3 states away. Said he couldn't live with it anymore. He gave details only the killer would know. The mug, the wire used, the exact time of death. He even drew a map. Police were stunned. Finally, closure. But when they reviewed his background, he wasn't in Idaho. Not in 2002. He was serving 8 months for credit card fraud in Minnesota. So how'd he know all that? When asked, he said, "I dreamed it, but it felt real." Experts chalked it up to psychosis. Judge declared him competent. He's serving 25 to life. But Wallace's niece posted something strange online a year later. A photo of her uncle standing beside Craig Heller. Time-stamped, June 2001. Her caption: "Uncle's college reunion. Never saw this guy again. Never or never remembered." Case 3. The Frozen Clue. Name: Ellie Cartwright. Age: 8. Location: Fargo, North Dakota. Cold since 1999. Solved 2021. A snowy morning. School bus waited. Ellie didn't come out. Her boots were by the door. Jacket? Gone. Front door? Locked from the inside. No straged. No footprints in the snow. For 22 years, no sign of her. Until a local hunter discovered a child's jacket buried beneath a frozen creek. Inside the lining, a tooth. DNA confirmed it was Ellie's. And the jacket? Traced to Donnie Vexler, a now-deceased loner with a cabin 2 miles away. Search dogs hit on his property. Case closed. But an old neighbor claimed she saw Ellie 2 years after she disappeared. In Illinois, sitting in a car, pale, staring out the window. The plate was reported, never traced. Worse, a second child's tooth was found in the same jacket. Not Ellie's, and no match in any database. So whose was it? Case 4. The Confession That Changed. Name: Marcus Tenley. Age: 24. Location: Camden, New Jersey. Cold since 2003. Solved 2022. Marcus was an amateur photographer. Loved abandoned buildings. His last known location? A burned-out church. He was never seen again, until 19 years later, when his camera bag turned up in a pawn shop. Inside, undeveloped film. Photos showed the inside of the church. One picture had a man, face visible, holding a crowbar. Police ran facial recognition. Matched a parolee. Tarek Benson. Tarek confessed. Said Marcus surprised him during a scrap raid. Claimed it was self-defense. He led them to a burial site. Skeletal remains. Camera strap. Done deal. But after the sentencing, a Reddit user posted the photos publicly. One commenter noticed something chilling. The film used was discontinued in 2001, 2 years before Marcus went missing. So if he took those pictures in 2003, how? Unless someone else had his bag. Someone planted it to frame Tarek. But why would he confess? Let's know your comment, share, and subscribe. Case 5, The Echo in the Walls. Name, Vanessa Cole. Age, 31. Location, Savannah, Georgia. Cold since 2006. Solved, 2023. Vanessa was a freelance journalist. She disappeared after publishing an article about corruption in small-town policing. No suspects, no body, just a locked apartment and a deleted hard drive. The case haunted locals. Urban legends called her the woman who knew too much. In 2023, workers renovating her apartment found a hidden crawl space. Inside, remains. Clothes, her laptop, and on the wall, scratched in what looked like metal wire. Trust no one. They read this. Police said it was suicide. They ruled she hit herself, starved to death. Mental breakdown. But her laptop? It was wiped clean by someone with admin-level encryption software installed after 2020. 14 years after she died, a neighbor swore she saw a man in uniform enter the apartment days before the discovery. No badge, no name tag, just a bag and gloves. She told police. No one followed up. These cases, all solved, yet each leaves behind a trail that doesn't quite end. An echo in the wall, a tooth with no name, a confession that shouldn't exist. Maybe it's human error. Maybe it's just grief looking for loopholes. But maybe, just maybe, the story we're told isn't the story that happened. Because just when you think the truth is final, someone else steps out of the dark, holding another piece of a puzzle you thought was done. You thought they were solved. Fingerprint matches, deathbed confessions, DNA that closed the book. But the truth? It doesn't sit still. It knocks. It creeps. And sometimes it fights to be heard. Because one of those 5 cases wasn't just unsolved. It was hiding something monstrous. Case 6, The Message After the Verdict. Follow up to Case 2, The Perfect Confession. Name, Wallace Green. Confessed killer, Craig Helf. For months after Craig was sentenced, his attorney received a voicemail. No number, no ID, just static. Then a voice. Craig didn't kill Wallace. I did. Look inside the piano. That's it. The piano? Still in Wallace's house. Never checked. Police brought it in. Under the lid, tucked behind the strings, was a stained envelope. Inside, 3 Polaroids. Wallace, another man, never identified. And Craig, with both of them, smiling. Timestamp, June 2002, 1 month before Wallace died. Craig said he didn't remember that photo. Didn't know who took it. Didn't own the clothes he was wearing. But the biggest twist? The piano had been moved into storage in 2004, which means the message and the photos were planted after the trial by someone who wanted the case reopened. But why wait 20 years? And who still has access to Wallace's house? Case 7, The Tooth That Didn't Belong. Follow up to Case 3, The Frozen Clue. Name, Ellie Cartwright. Clue, child's tooth found with her jacket. In 2024, a freelance forensic artist decided to re-examine the second tooth. No match on DNA, but the shape? Unusual. A bicuspid. Adult. Male. Hispanic ancestry. A child's jacket. 2 teeth. One from Ellie. One from someone else entirely. So the artist did something weird. He posted a 3D render of the tooth online. With one caption. Does this look familiar? It blew up. One woman responded. Said it looked exactly like the missing tooth from her son. Disappeared in 1995. In Mexico. For years before Ellie. Same jacket brand. Same color. Same year. 2 kids. 2 countries. 1 garment. And the cabin owner, Donnie Vexla, used to work on the border as a contract transport driver. Cargo, unknown. Donnie died in 2010, but someone somewhere has a box full of tiny, buried secrets. Case 8, the photo that shouldn't exist. Follow up to Case 4, the confession that changed. Victim, Marcus Tenley. Confessed killer, Tarek Benson. 1 month after Tarek sentencing, an old blogger named Abandoned Hunter 86 made a post. I explored the same Camden church Marcus shot before burned. But here's the thing. I went in March 2004, and the wall in that photo, it didn't exist back then. Police dismissed it, but someone didn't, because 2 weeks later, Abandoned Hunter 86 vanished. His last post was a photo. Blurry, dim, looked like the same church. But the graffiti on the wall? You buried the wrong body. Police called it trolling. But his car? Found just 1 block from that church. Camera still in the trunk. Lens shattered. And the footage inside? Gone. Wiped. Case 9. The crawl space reopened. Follow up to Case 5. The echo in the walls. Victim, Vanessa Cole. Cause, suicide. It should have ended there. Hidden body. Closed file. Mental breakdown. But when a local news crew filmed a segment on the apartment building, they caught something strange. A light. Inside the crawl space. Turning off. A week later, someone broke into the news station. Stole the footage. Only that one take. But an intern had already posted a TikTok clip. The comments exploded. That wasn't a light. That was an eye. Rewatch at 0:14. You can see someone blink. And then Vanessa's laptop pinged. From a hotel 20 miles away. Someone turn it on. Try to log in. The username? Cole//alive. Leave your comment, share, and subscribe. Case 10. The funeral that never happened. New case connected to all 5. Name, Nathaniel Nate Sayers. Age, 39. Location, Atlanta, Georgia. Disappeared, 2001. Declared dead, 2010. Connection, unknown until now. You've never heard of Nate, because his case was never public. No media, no flyers, no reward. Why? Because Nate was a federal digital forensics analyst. And in 2000 to 2001, he was working on an unsanctioned review of cold cases tied to federal corruption. In his last email, sent 48 hours before he vanished, he wrote, "If something happens to me, start with the cases where everything makes too much sense. The ones where closure came too fast." Attached were 5 case numbers. Each one matches the cases we just told you. Melanie Reyes, Wallace Green, Ellie Cartwright, Marcus Tenley, Vanessa Cole, all 5. But here's the kicker. In June 2025, a month ago, Nate's fingerprint showed up on a rental car in Nevada. Inside, a receipt for a hotel stay under the name Craig Heller. Yes, the same man convicted for Wallace Green. And the hotel's guest camera caught someone entering room 9B. A man, mid-50s, balding, carrying a silver necklace. The same necklace Melanie wore the night she died. These weren't just cold cases. They were threads, connected by someone or something that doesn't want the truth to surface. But it's bubbling. In voicemails, in deleted footage, in fingerprints that don't stay dead. And the deeper you dig, the more faces look familiar. The more details don't line up. The more you start to wonder, were these cold cases ever really solved? Or were they deliberately closed? To protect someone, to bury something, or to warn others. Stay quiet, or disappear. We went back, looked through Nate Sayers' digital footprint. One file survived, untitled, corrupted, almost unreadable. They thought it was over. 10 cases, 5 names, 5 graves. But then, case 11 surfaced. No name, no date, just one photo. A dim basement, 6 people, each from a solved case. All alive, all staring at the camera. One figure stood in the back, face obscured, holding a sign. This is not the end. The photo was sent to a local news anchor. No return address, just a note. Everything they solved was meant to stay broken. Forensics say the image is real. Time stamped, 2 weeks ago. And then, one final twist. Craig Heller, the man locked away for murder, his cell was found empty this morning. No signs of forced exit. No footprints. No cameras triggered. Just a single word scratched into the wall. Redacted. So maybe the story isn't about who got caught. But who's still in control? And if they planned every solution, what's been planned for the rest of us? Because when the dead come back and the guilty vanish, one question remains. Are you sure your cold case isn't still open?